Good afternoon, welcome back to the channel. I am Philip with Geared Towards Automotive, and we are sitting in the new 2019 Nissan Rogue. This is the SV model that we just reviewed in the previous video last week. As promised, we are driving the car today and looking at some of the differences in the new 2019 model compared to the previous 2016, 17, and 18. So keep watching. All of the differences and test drive of the 2019 Nissan Rogue coming up. One thing you'll immediately notice probably right away when you get into the new Nissan Rogue is this flat bottom steering wheel, which normally in a mid-size SUV where it's a hyper-competitive market, and if you're looking at cars like the Honda CR-V or the Toyota RAV4 or this car, for example, everybody is starting to throw these flat bottom sportier steering wheels into a regular mid-size SUV. Now you might ask yourself why they're doing that, but I think they're just trying to keep up with the trends of everybody wanting these sportier looks and feels in the car. I'm a huge fan of it because I prefer sports cars, of course, but a large majority of the population that's buying cars are going to have families, and they're going to be all different ages and have all different uses for the vehicle. The seats in the 2019 Rogue are very comfortable, even without them being leather. You do have the 8-way power seat. You can move it up, down, back and forth, and then you also have the lumbar support. The heated seats high and low do help if you have back problems or it's winter time. That really adds to the comfort of the seats. But based on where the steering wheel adjusts and where the seats adjust, very, very comfortable, and you're not going to have any complaints as far as that would go. Another big difference for the Nissan Rogue this year with the 2019 model is the fact that it still has a Cvt transmission. However, the improvements to the transmission are very, very noticeable right away when driving the vehicle. When I first got into the car, I was kind of dreading it, knowing that the CVTs in the last generation, last years of the Nissan Rogue were not anything to brag about. They just made a lot of noise as they got really high into the RPMs and they revved out, and they just didn't perform well. This one is way more responsive. You can tell the engineers at Nissan really spent their time re-engineering and perfecting the Cvt transmission. With all of the SUVs going down to a 4-cylinder or a 4-cylinder turbo, it's really important that they perfect the Cvt performance, because that's going to really translate into the whole feel of the vehicle. And if you get that wrong, the whole car is going to drive like crap and it's not going to feel good. It is a lot more responsive than it used to be in the previous models. Anything with like a Shiftronic transmission, where you can shift up and down and it's pretty much going to simulate and feel like you're doing exactly what a manual transmission would be doing. So I like that they improved the feel of that to make it feel, again, more sporty and like you're in control of the vehicle when you're shifting up and down sequentially through the gears. Now, driving the previous Nissan Rogue, wasn't super impressed with the comfort of the vehicle. Yes, you can get leather seats, power seats, heated seats, and it's a decent car for the price. However, the previous model's seats were very, very stiff in my opinion, and that's just my opinion, take it with a grain of salt. However, I've noticed in this Nissan Rogue, it might be the fact that these are cloth seats, but I don't think it has everything to do with it, but the car is a lot more comfortable. I want to say just like night and day difference comfortable. It may have to do with the suspension, which is improved and new, and the steering feel as well, because it's a lot softer, but not too soft. It's still responsive to the road. So I would say that, again, another big improvement to this vehicle is the comfort overall. It has to do with a lot of different things, but the seating comfort in particular is a lot better and a lot different in this car. Fun little fact about the Nissan Rogue that might go unnoticed is the fact that the sun visor doesn't have a little extension flap to pull out, but the whole visor itself actually slides on the bar. So unless you pull it out, you wouldn't notice it's there, but it does go all the way across the window like so to block the sun. Nissan has a whole new suite of safety features in their newer vehicles, and it's a huge improvement, again, to just the overall experience of being and driving in a Nissan in general, but also the Nissan Rogue. especially if you're distracted with kids in the back or what have you. But you have the blind spot indicators on both sides, and then you have the backup sensors in the rear if you're backing up. Now, this car has the automatic braking, so it's going to sense a vehicle in front of you. You can turn that on and off, and it has the radar and the camera to aid you in doing that. But what I noticed the other day, and what I really thought was incredible, is that this one also automatically brakes as you're backing up. So it uses the backup sensors to sense 3 different positions as to how close you are to an object, and it'll actually abruptly and very accurately apply the brakes, almost slam on the brakes to prevent you from rear-ending somebody from backing up, or in my instance, it picked up a bush that was too close and hit the brakes. So you can turn that on and off if it's too annoying, or you know what you're doing and it's just being too cautious for you. But thought that was a really cool feature. Been a lot of mid-size SUVs that have the forward collision warning or the automatic braking for you, but I haven't been in a lot of vehicles other than like high-end vehicles that brake when you're backing up. So as you're driving along the back roads, you'll notice that you don't have a lot of body roll, as they say, where you feel like you're swaying back and forth. And if you're going up normal speeds that you would be on the back roads, let's just say it's 40 to 50 or 55 miles an hour even, the vehicle shifts and makes its way through all of the gears, so to speak, very well. Again, it doesn't rev out, the CVT isn't loud, but the steering is soft, but it's not too soft to where you feel like it's not responsive. It's a very precise feel, and it's responsive enough as if you're going all along these roads and these turns up and down hills, even if you're on like windy roads, it's soft but responsive, and it holds the road really well, which is something that you didn't feel in the previous model. It was actually really stiff in the previous model, and I didn't like that. Some people like that stiff feel, like if you get into some higher end vehicles, like a BMW, so to speak, and that steering wheel and that steering is stiff. It's like that for a reason. It's sporty. This one, as you're on the highway, it is going to firm up a little bit for the faster speeds and the highway feel, but I like that it kind of softens up as you're on the back roads. So again, that contributes to the comfort of the newer vehicle. All right, we're getting onto the highway now, bringing it up to speed. As you can hear, you do have a little bit of noise. It is just a 4-cylinder, 2.5 liter engine. And as you can hear, you're gonna hear the lane departure warning as well. I have it turned on just so you can hear that and kind of get an idea of how that would work. So basically, if anybody's over in my right or left lane as I'm trying to get over, you're going to hear that as well, and that's going to be your blind spot indicator. That's going to flash on either side, and then it's also going to beep. I actually have the beeping turned off. Let me go ahead and turn that on. And then we have the lane departure warning as well. So if I go over on the line, you're going to hear it beep. That can get pretty annoying if you're on the back roads, to be honest. So it's very easy to turn that on and off in this vehicle. You just go into the settings screen in front and go up to lane departure warning, uncheck it, hit the back button, and you're good to go. So it's not all that hard to do while you're driving, and it doesn't take a lot of attention off the road. Yes, take your eyes off the road a little bit, but only for 1 second. So you have the emergency braking, the lane departure warning, and the blind spot warning on the Nissan Rogue SV standard without having to upgrade to any higher packages or premium package. So we're up to speed now. We're just over 60 miles an hour, and as you can tell, not a ton of road noise. The steering feels firm. It's firmed up a little bit from the softer back road feel. But again, I love the flat bottom. It just gives you more of a sporty feel to the vehicle, and the car itself is just a lot more comfortable. I mean, you have these nice bolsters in the seats, leather steering wheel, leather shift knob, and leather on the center console. So as I'm driving it, it's just all around a comfortable car. If you're commuting in it, if you're going on road trips, or just running around town running errands, it's a win either way. I will say that the tachometer is a little bit traditional. It's not even computerized, and a lot of the other newer vehicles out there, especially the competitors that this car has, you're going to have computer screens in front of you along with the touch screen to the right. So if there's anything I'd say they need to improve on maybe on the next model, I would definitely recommend getting a computer screen in front of you here. yeah, you have this little rectangular screen where you can adjust your driving aids and your gas mileage, but what car doesn't have that nowadays? Let's be honest. To see just the RPM and the miles per hour and the gas, that's really boring, and that's 1990s. So I would say this car needs to bring itself into the future for the maybe next generation and get some screens up there to where you can see your navigation in front of you, or have a more interactive computer screen that's actually usable, like a lot of the competitors of this vehicle that are on the market right now. The visibility in the Rogue is really good. It always has been good, but it continues to be great for highways with the mirrors set up the way you need them. The back window is nice and big, and these windows there really aren't any blind spots in this car. I've been in a lot of other mid-size SUVs, competitors of this car, and everybody, you know, they're kind of sloping it off and tapering it off because that's that sporty look for aerodynamics and just the trend of where all of these SUVs are going. They're looking more and more like compact, sporty cars, not even really SUVs. So this one, yes, it's a little bit more traditional looking than other SUVs in the market. However, you have great visibility and still have good aerodynamics and a decent sporty look to it. So you could go ahead and get a Toyota RAV4 or a Honda CR-V if you want a sportier vehicle with, in the Honda's case, more technology. In the Toyota's case, just more of a, universal off-roadable vehicle. They all have their pros and their cons, but I would say the biggest takeaway for the Nissan Rogue is the space. So the back seats are going to slide back and forth, which you're not going to find, I don't believe, in the CR-V. And the back cargo area is bigger than any of the other vehicles, like the RAV4 or the CR-V. That is the game changer for this car. That's what makes it win versus the other SUVs, is the space in the back all over the place, and the visibility as well. So fun feature that the car has this time around in the 2019 versus the 2018 or previous, correct me if I'm wrong, but on the SV model you have remote start. So not only do you have the push button start with keyless entry, but you can start it from your key standard. You don't have to upgrade to any extra packages to get that. So that's pretty incredible. Kudos to Nissan for doing that. If you have the chance to upgrade to the extra premium package, I would get that because you get the moonroof. You're going to get a few extra safety features, and you're also going to get the navigation as well, which the SV model doesn't come with. But that's about the only thing it doesn't come with standard. You get everything else standard. Heated seats, power seats, Apple CarPlay, backup sensors, remote start. So the car comes pretty well equipped in the SV model as it is. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it and found value in the test drive of this 2019 Nissan Rogue. If you did, make sure you leave a thumbs up, leave a comment down below of some of the features you like or dislike, or things I missed in this video. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so you can get notified every week when we put out new videos. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. I'm Philip with Geared Towards Automotive.